Well, hey there, hi there, and most importantly, ho there, everyone. It's Bryan Zane. It is Friday, March 5th, 2021, and we are live and in living color with the Smackdown review once again. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Hope your week's been good. Mine's been pretty darn good. I felt pretty darn productive this week. A lot of cool videos coming down the pike in the next few weeks, both Wednesdays and beyond, and I'm really excited for those to drop. All in due time, of course. But again, thank you for watching the review tonight. We are going to start off with a little segment called Michael Cole interviewing Daniel Bryan in the ring. Took me all night to come up with that one. So Cole introduces Daniel as a man who can beat who beat 3 Hall of Famers at WrestleMania 30, and my wrestling nerd radar immediately went off where it's like, well, technically only one official Hall of Famer. Actually, now that I think about it, it's actually none because Batista was never officially inducted. But now, details. So they're redoing the Daniels Uso match we saw last week because it entered a double count out, and now it's going to be in a steel cage. Where again, if Daniel wins, then he gets to be in the championship match against Roman Reigns. And Cole, with probably the dumbest question of the night, goes, "Well, Bryan, you had this tag team match with Edge against Roman and Jey at Fastlane. Why would you give up this meaningless tag team match to pursue a championship bout with Roman Reigns?" Doy. Daniel talks about how he's not going to beat the old Daniel Bryan anymore. How, he's not the one who rolls the punches, the one with no ambition. He's rediscovered his ambition. He's been putting himself on the back burner for the last year, but no more. Now he suddenly realizes how badly he wants to be in the WrestleMania main event, and says he's wrestled more matches in the last 3 weeks than Roman and Edge have in the last 3 months. Oh, snap. Roman interrupts, and then we go to break. We're 13 minutes into this promo, which also included a recap of what happened at the Elimination Chamber. And so then we go to break 13 minutes in, and we get the other half of that where it's Roman's rebuttal. I'm not sure this needed 2 segments for an opening promo. But anyway, Roman calling Daniel a lotto winner, whereas men like Roman are ambitious. And Daniel says he doesn't love wrestling. He needs it because Daniel's like, I love wrestling. And Roman's like, no, you need it because you can't do anything else. But I love wrestling because everyone needs me. It's kind of how I feel about this YouTube channel. So, sorry, I was a bit of the heel, a bit of the influencer coming out there. I apologize. Jey Uso then steps in and he tells Daniel that, he's going to beat him in the cage match and everything. Don't come after the Uso. And then he goes for a cheap shot, but Daniel counters him, throws him out of the ring, and that's a segment. His music plays. It pretty much ends very similar to the ending of the last week's opener, except it's in reverse because now it's Daniel who stands on top. And this time Uso doesn't fall into the abyss of the other side of the barricade, never to be seen again. He just is, oh man. So that was pretty much that. The opening segment itself, if you combine the two, we're okay. It sets up why Daniel's pushing to be in this match with Reigns, setting up the main event for the evening. But again, not sure it needed to be broken up by a commercial, a whole ass commercial break to get there. We're supposed to get up next a rematch as the Street Profits take on Sami Zayn and King Corbin. But before the match begins, Corbin says he wants no part of teaming with Sami again, doesn't like him, but he wants a singles match with either member of the Profits. And so Montez Ford picks Corbin and Angelo Dawkins picks Zayn. And we get Corbin and Ford first, basically. Relatively short match. Sami and his crew on the outside with a distraction that allows Corbin to win with the EOD. Zayn gets knocked off the apron afterwards. Zayn gets ready for his match. He tells King Corbin, "Hey, watch how it's done. I helped you. You helped me." He gets on the apron and he gets knocked off, and he bumps into Corbin, who then gets mad that he got bumped into, and he leaves. And I've mentioned this before, how much this pisses me off from just a logic standpoint. Even when the dude who hit you didn't do it on purpose, he got knocked into him. Why would you get mad at him? He's not his fault. It's a conspiracy. Damn it, Sami is right. He's been right this entire time. So anyway, we get the match, Sami and Angelo. It's a bit more fleshed out than the previous one. Zayn appears to have the match won, but Montez gets in the face of the documentary crew's business that distracts Sami, allows for a roll-up victory for Dawkins. So Street Profits are 1-1 on the evening. And again, the better match of the two. It was given more time. Then afterwards, Sami starts to yell at his own crew, not recognizing them, seemingly beats one of them up. And then when he's done, he realizes what he's done. He's like, oh my God, maybe he's starting to snap more so than usual. But we'll see where that goes. That was an interesting little twist where he beats up his own documentary crew. First time that's happened, actually, in this process, I believe. So, yeah, I can't wait to see the end result of this documentary. I mean, I want to see how they chop it all together. Excuse me. Backstage, Carmella fires Reggie, the Somalian sommelier, for crushing after Sasha Banks, smacks the drink tray out of his hand. Oh my God, the lower third. Son of a, yeah, God, I can't believe it, folks. The laziness. Oh my God, I'm slipping. It's always one thing, isn't it? Like, my voice is a lot better, but I'm slipping in the graphics department. Stupid. Anyway, so yeah, Reginald is fired by Carmella over his pining for Sasha Banks. And boy, I can't wait to see him get more involved in this women's title match. This woman's he has no business being near. Hooray! Showcase of the Immortals. Dominic Mysterio. Would it kill you to keep your hood on for more than 2 seconds? What is the point of him having this hood on the head of his attire when we never get to see it on his head before he rips it off? It's been like that since day one, since the first match he had at SummerSlam. The hood, it would flop up occasionally just in the process of physics. You go, no one can see the hood. And then for the rest of his time, he comes out with his hood on, no one can see this thing. I rip it off. No one's allowed to see it. Fuck that. You clearly put some money into making this hood. Show it to us. Damn it. Damn it. The people want to see the hood. So anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So he has a match here against Chad Gable in singles competition. Relatively short, some nice graps and some cover attempts. And ultimately, Dominic pulls out the upset with a surprise roll-up. That's 2 on the night, actually. Then Mysterio hits a big sit on Otis on the outside. So the male stereos get a little bit of revenge, is how they post this, how they frame it. That's pretty much that, and we'll see how that builds later on, I guess. Dominic looking, he looks fine. He looked good here. Again, but what's the point of that hood if you don't show it to us? That's all I'm saying. Seth Rollins is interviewed backstage, and they show the clip with the best swing sell of all time, I think, from last week. Seth saying Cesaro gave him the swing because he was afraid of embracing the vision, TM. He says, I'll never forget that. Then suddenly Murphy shows up and says, I'll take care of Cesaro if I were you, mate. And he's like, no, get out of my sight. And yeah, seriously, I'm with Seth. Why would Murphy suddenly want to lobby for Seth again after everything that we all went through collectively last year? And the last time we saw Murphy, he was rebuking Seth and yeah, my new girlfriend, I love you, Mysterio, mate. And so I'm sorry, that's really offensive to Australians. I got to stop doing that. It's a very basic. It's how I feel. It's how I think people feel about Cockney accents, where it's just over exaggerated. It's not correct. And honestly, the Australian and the Cockney accents for me pretty similar. It's a very minute difference. But anyway, yeah, could not believe that they're trying to have Murphy come back into the graces of Seth after all that time off, all that cool down time, where it's I've abandoned Seth Rollins, I'm forsaking him, he's no longer my boss, and then I'm gonna take 5 fucking months off TV and then come back like nothing happened. What? So Bianca Belair is up next against Shayna Baszler, and it turns out the match was so nice we're doing it twice, because at Fastlane, Sasha and Bianca are challenging for the women's tag titles yet again. Why? I mean, once was it not enough? Nothing better to do with the women's tag belts on that show, or with Sasha and Bianca? I just don't understand. Besides involving Reginald, because he is involved in this match as well. Sasha's out there. Reggie follows her around. Shayna working Bianca's arm, and then on the outside, Reginald is attacked by Jax. Ducks another attack, and Nia lays out Sasha. The finish of this match is pretty cool, where Bianca powers out of the Kirifuda clutch, or she kind of slips out of it and just deadlifts Shayna into a KOD. That was great. That was the pop of the match for me, was that moment there. And then afterward, Sasha slaps Reggie, tells him to piss off. The match is okay, but again, I'm echoing the sentiments of Ryan Satin on this one, where he posted on Twitter tonight. Why is Reginald so deeply entrenched in the storyline? I hope that they ditch this element after Fastlane and just focus on Sasha and Bianca. They shouldn't be teaming up to challenge for the belts in the first place. But if they're going to do it, like the whole thing with Reginald's so weird. You wonder if it's like a long con where like Carmella and he are still working together. I mean, that might be the best way to redeem it, honestly. But like have Reginald put him on ice, no pun intended, to have him like after Fastlane and then after Mania, then Sasha and Reginald can come back and do the shit again. Somebody posted, is Reggie the new Ellsworth? I don't think so. The key difference, and I made this comparison before when people try to compare Ellsworth to Eugene. The reason I think Eugene was the better example because Ellsworth was booked to be incompetent in the ring and outside of it, whereas Eugene was great in the ring, and that was the difference. He was capable of taking care of himself. So anyway, I don't want to get too much of a tangent here because we're still doing the review. Backstage, Roman telling Uso not to lose. You lose and you're out of the family. Murphy versus Cesaro up next. Seth joining commentary for this one. He says he has way more killer instinct than Cesaro does as Murph is swung around. Seth feels attacked when he sees the swing. Cesaro with the swing and the sharpshooter. Murphy taps out. Welcome back. Welcome back, Murph. Aren't you so glad you took all that time off? And now you're back, still simping for Seth Rollins. Backstage, more stuff with Reginald. We see him go to Sasha Banks' dressing room. He gets denied, and then as he walks past, Shayna and Nia are there to mock him. But then Nia's like, "Oh, I think he's kind of cute." Like, "Oh, great! Now Reggie's going to be the secret weapon the champs have against Sasha and Bianca at the pay-per-view." Can't wait to see how that turns out. We then get Apollo Crews promo time, and if you thought that him embracing his Nigerian roots last week was something, you ain't seen nothing yet, because they lay it on thick with this one, folks. He comes out with guards, a spear, which, by the way, doesn't seem like a very practical spear. It's like not sharp at all. I don't know, like maybe, as a blunt instrument, yeah, that could work. I cut my finger wide open on a butter knife once, so I get that. But, it doesn't look quite as menacing when it's just like this big, I don't know, on the spear thing. So anyway, and he's got an accent. He's now speaking with an accent. Then afterward, he's doing the accent now. And he talks about how growing up, he always wanted to be accepted and to fit in, but people like you mocked him. He talks about his Nigerian roots and how Big E reminds him of those who attacked his ancestors. He says, Big E is coming back next week, and I want to challenge you for the Intercontinental title again. And Big E will be haunted by Cruz's victory. I think was a good promo by Apollo. I continue to like his new attitude and the new direction he's going with it. I don't, the accent and the spear are something, but you know what? I don't understand the history, so I cannot make an educated comment on that. I'm just going to abstain from that and say it's different. I cannot speak on whether or not it is correct or if it is good. But I mean, I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. And we'll have to see how it all goes. What do you all think of this new gimmick? I'm seeing a couple of people already, speak their mind about it, and we'll see what everyone has to say about it. So backstage, Natalya and Tamina are mad. They're not fighting for the women's tag belts, and you know what? I'm with you, ladies. Adam Pearce blows them off, and Sonya Deville's like, he made a different decision. Wah, wah. So like that scene right there could be a small thing where it's like, maybe we're seeing another example of like how Sonya is different than Adam in terms of an authority figure, and maybe eventually she'll break off and make her own decisions, and they might run counter to what Adam Pearce wants to do. Whatever they're doing with Sonya as an authority figure, it's a very slow burn, and so we'll see where it goes. Going to the comment section for a bit, it's all right. Somebody said, remember when Booker T randomly had an accent in TNA? Yeah, but that was not meant to be taken seriously. Didn't care for the accent, but I will say it's nice to see Apollo have some sort of character. I know some Nigerians that sound pretty much like Apollo. Yeah, I believe, I don't deny the authenticity of the accent. I'm sure he has enough family to know how to emulate it. I mean, so we'll see. No, Cruz was not born in Nigeria. I just went on his Wikipedia. He was born in Sacramento. So not Nigeria. It's a bit far out. We had Ding Dong. We had Jey Uso being interviewed backstage. So he's not scared of Daniel Bryan, and then Daniel jumps in from behind, gets one shot in before the match begins. We get a backstage version of Ding Dong Hello, where Bayley's at the interview set with the half ring, and she wants to read some sweet tweets, which are the opposite of mean tweets. And so the first couple are like nice to her, says that Ding Dong Hello should be the WrestleMania main event. Can you imagine? But apparently the last one hit a bit too hard for her. It was more of a mean tweet, and she just kind of storms off, leaves the door in a huff, and I guess that was something. So we'll be maybe that'll build us something. Who knows? Our main event is the Salad Steel Cage match as Daniel Bryan takes on Jey Uso. Like I mentioned earlier, if Daniel wins, he gets his Universal title match against Roman at Fastlane. Corey Graves in the ring before the match begins to talk about how devastating the cage can be. We get a cool camera angle where the camera dude's sitting on top of the cage and pointing down to get kind of like a bird's eye view or a perspective of what it's like up there. And Corey goes over the rules in case you've never watched a wrestling match before in your life. Roman Reigns showing up at ringside to watch this. Some great shots of like Heyman just kind of like leaning right over, like doing this to Roman. He's so attentive. He's just wanting to help him out. So anyway, it's a good match though. This is actually the best match of the night. And I think this was, a really fun match. We got Samoan drop off the top rope, Jay with a big splash, Daniel kicks out. Get some great ground and pound and grappling as well in this thing. Finally, Daniel makes Uso tap out with the yes lock after the rope break proves useless, and Roman looks peeved. Daniel stands tall, and he's facing Roman. Again, great match to close out the show. I like this outcome a whole lot more than last week. I know that's by design because no one looks at a double count out and goes, I feel good about that. So this was definitely a good makeup from that, I would say. The whole idea of Daniel I'm torn about this with Daniel getting into the match, the title match, because it does kind of render fighting in the Royal Rumble and fighting in the Elimination Chamber kind of useless when he can just win another match and get another title shot before Mania. And so I would hope that Edge can still get involved or bring that up or something. Maybe it'll turn into a triple threat. Like if we don't get the Brock involvement for the WWE Championship, then I could see, and making that a triple threat, I could definitely see something like that happening with this match as well. Somehow, I mean, I don't know what the plan for Daniel would be after Fastlane if he's not in the triple threat, at Mania. So those are my thoughts about it. And now, real quick, before we get the grade, I think it's time to do one more little plug for my t-shirt store. This is one of the newest shirt designs, select character, much way in the style of Turtles in Time select screen. That lovely artwork by my editor, Izzy. 6 characters, my favorites on this shirt, and you can find that and a whole lot more at prowrestlingtees.com/wrestlingwithregret. And there's also a new design that just came out a couple weeks ago, my NWO style parody shirt, which I fought for a long time to get originally on there, but they're like, oh, it's a trademark thing, you can't do that. And meanwhile, half of the shirts on there are Raw's War NWO parody shirts. So might as well just make my own imprint on that. And so with that, let's see, we're at about 18 minutes in. Let's get the grade. Let's pull that sucker up. I give it a C. It's a bit of an improvement from last week. I think that the cage match main event helped elevate it a bit. I liked Daniel Bryan's promo and his kind of rationale for getting back into the main event scene. Apollo Crews' promo was good. For as many matches as there were on this show this week, kind of light. It wasn't not a lot of meat on them bones. There were a couple matches that went longer than 2 or 3 minutes, and Daniel and Jay obviously was the longest one. So the matches themselves didn't hold my interest all that much. It was mostly the promos, and even then they were kind of hit and miss. Ding Dong Hello, who knows where that's going? That's kind of my thoughts on it. It was an okay show, is the best way to put it, and we'll just see how things ramp up as we get into Fastlane. What do you all think? What's the grade that you wanted to give this episode of Smackdown? Let me know. And a couple people had asked this, so I guess I'll talk about it now as we are about to go into the questions. What is the deal with this shirt? Maccabia Mania. Well, if you've seen my Grandmasters of Wrestling review, then you would know that Maccabia Mania was the event that was eventually rebranded as Grandmasters on DVD. And this is an original shirt, actually. Jeff Buchanan is selling these on eBay, I think, for a bit more than they ought to be. But he likes me, so he cut me a deal, basically. But no, I got this, and there's a Maccabi Mania 2 shirt as well. I'm going to stand up, and I'll show you the faces a little bit closer here. You got Killer Kowalski, the Iron Sheik, Bubba, Nikolai Volkov, Misty Blue, Ken Patera. That's a young-looking picture of Mike Sharp, too. These are all very dated pictures. It's like, false advertising. And then, of course, there's a Mighty Maccabee right there at Buchan't Square Garden in Livingston, New Jersey. I love this shirt. And so thank you very much to the mensch, Jeff Buchan't, for hooking me up with some Maccabi Mania stuff. If you go on my Instagram at Bryan Zane, I posted the other Maccabi Mania merch I got from that collection, and I'm very happy with it. There was, I'm seeing some C pluses, C, D, B minus, a B. Well, thank you all very much for your grades. And now we are going to go to, God bless it. I just don't like that it doesn't let me scroll back. All right, I will show the texts or the super chats when I can pull them up. But right now, the first one I'm going to begin with is from Heisensall, $5 super chat. Is there anything for the classic review segment I'm shocked has not been nominated yet? Is there anything I dread that hasn't been nominated? Well, gosh, while we're here, let me just pull up my list of nominees thus far, because that'll give me a better idea of what's on there. Like, is there any WrestleMania that's on there that has shocked that hasn't been requested yet? Like, not really. Like, all the WrestleManias like that people would probably want to ask about are there. What kind of WCW shows are we looking at here that like haven't been picked? A lot of TNA shows I need to get through. I'm sorry about that. It's not as easy to pull TNA shows as it is like anything on the network, for example. Like every Starrcade has been nominated. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, have there been any? There's like one or two. I don't know. I wonder if somebody requested Over the Edge. Hang on. Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, one person's review requested Over the Edge 99. I don't know how to feel about that one, and so I don't know if that'll eventually happen. But it's something to think about. That's kind of what I'm dreading doing. Also, I think somebody asked me to do Dream Slam, which is like 8-hour Joshi show or 10 or something. Like, fuck that. I don't know. We'll see about it. We'll maybe do it like a 2 or 3 parter, because I don't know if I have the stomach to do a whole episode about that. Thank you, Heisensall. Eastside Reviews, Unpopular Opinion. Sasha Banks is a terrible character and has shown no growth as a performer over the last 6 years. She's kind of a drag to watch. Well, I think that is, I mean, you're not wrong. I don't think her character has progressed or changed a lot since she's debuted, and I still maintain she's a far better heel than a face. But like, she's the same character no matter what. But she's an unlikable babyface. That's the thing. She's just more easier to not get behind, or easier to enjoy, I think, when she's a heel. But yeah, her character feels relatively the same. Like, I feel that's kind of, I think she might be the only one who hasn't really evolved. Like, Charlotte is another of the 4 horsewomen whose character hasn't changed all that much. I think Becky and Bayley are 2 of the ones who've definitely evolved and changed more so than many other women, I'd say. It's like, I'm trying to think of other women who've like really changed and evolved. Rhea Ripley's changed a lot. Dakota Kai, obviously. Io Shirai had a big evolution. Yeah, there's a fair amount of women who just don't have that ability to evolve. And Sasha Banks, I'm surprised, has kind of stayed where she is. So I agree, Eastside. I wouldn't say she's a terrible character, but she's in need of a revamp. She's in need of something to give her something else, a new dimension, a new layer. Let's see here. I think now I can pull this up. Here we go. Wendigo, $5 Canadian. Bryan shouldn't do his crappy crippler crossface. He has nothing on Benjuan in terms of executing it, and every move he does, the crippler did better. I think the label lock is different than the crippler crossface to some degree. So you're right. He's not doing the crossface. He's doing the yes lock. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Benoit did a pretty good version of it too. Cesar Lopez, 20 Mexican dollars. Have I considered reviewing The Longest Yard? I've gotten some requests to do Longest Yard because there are, in the remake at least, there are a lot of wrestlers in there. There's Goldberg, there's Nash, there's Great Khali, there's Steve Austin. This is how a white man plays guitar. That's like the one thing I remember from that movie is Austin being hella racist. I don't know. I think it's like almost too far gone from wrestling for me to like count it. We'll see. Maybe who knows? Who knows? It's a thought. It's a thought is all I'm gonna say. Ken terminated by DQ, $5. Oh, my YouTube comment was deleted before the video was uploaded. Correction. It was on the old version of the video, and then I uploaded a new version with the updated credits, so yours was not seen. On the worst Big Ben video, was I going to add in the Yeti or Zeus/Z Gangsta? I didn't think about the Yeti, honestly. I didn't think about Nathan Jones. I didn't think about Kevin Nash either. I gave my writer, Mr. Ulala, a fair amount of leeway with this one. He was his choice to put Andre in. I don't mean to throw him under the bus because I ultimately agreed with him in his choices. But we agreed that Andre was worthy of putting on the list. Late year Andre, Giant Haystacks. That one I felt a little bit guilty about putting Loch Ness in there, but ultimately I kind of went with my gut and thought it'd be fine. Yeah, if I did it again or I added more slots, I probably would put Ron Reese or maybe I don't even know how to do Zeus. Honestly, I think Zeus was fine for what he was. Like it was shit, but like I don't know. So maybe there'll be another time to do. Silo Sam was a frequent one that people said I missed, and so yeah, I wouldn't say Nathan. I wouldn't say Big Cass is on the worst big man. I liked Big Cass, honestly. I think that like I was really pumped for him to split from Enzo, and then he hurt his knee. I got pissed about that. And then like he came back, had the feud with Bryan, and I didn't think it was a great first feud for him to come back to. And then he did that, and like he shut the bed and had a bad attitude and got fired. That sucked. But I think there was a lot of potential for Cass, and I'm really, sad that it didn't pan out for him in that way. Parker Soul saying Apollo Crews should start sending emails asking for money for his displaced Nigerian prince and will more than reimburse us. That will be a late era Apollo Crews angle where after the heel aspect of this fizzles away, I think they're going to try and go more camp and they're trying like Flanderize the character a bit and maybe make him more of like a scamming Nigerian prince gimmick. I wouldn't put it past them. Is all I'm saying. I think it's a distinct possibility they're going to do that at least once. I mean, if Jerry Lawler on commentary, he would have made that joke on commentary by now, like 3 times over. I bet you anything. John Zell, 10 Canadian dollars. Thanks for the stream, Brian. You're welcome. Do I think there should be any pay-per-views between the Rumble and WrestleMania? I feel all the time wasted on Fastlane builds is a huge waste. I don't think there should be more than one pay-per-view between the Rumble and WrestleMania. I think the old model they had where it was like No Way Out or Elimination Chamber between those two shows, that was fine. I'm fine with one show between the Rumble and Mania, okay? History shows they can be okay. And if you don't believe me, watch my No Way Out 2001 review. But yeah, 2 pay-per-views. I think no, I don't agree with that. I'm not even going to see Fastlane. Breaking news: you will not be seeing a Fastlane review on this channel because I'm going to be out of town. And the last thing I want to do is try and watch a pay-per-view on my in-laws' crappy internet and then try and crank out a review for it. God forbid with any footage. And I don't even know how I'm going to get network footage when it moves to Peacock. It's a big hurdle I'm not too thrilled about approaching. So we'll get there. Let's see here. Doobity-doo. Oh, what happened? Jumped ahead. Scroll jumped ahead. Scroll jumped ahead. Scroll jumped ahead. Come on. What happened? Oh my God, I hate this. Hang on. Where did I get to? Oh, come on. I hate this. See here. There we go. Okay. We didn't miss any. Jacob Donnelly, $5. This is the riveting stuff you come for in the streams. You ready to tell us I'm Big Show's big signing at Revolution? I'm returning to be a manager? I'm going to say right now, no. I'm not trying to work anybody, People have been asking that, No, it's not going to be me. Don't worry. It'd be fun, but no. And like, I look, if you saw my Revolution predictions that came out today, I'm gonna say it. I said it then. I'll say it now. I am not gonna begin to bother speculating who it could possibly be because anything I say is just gonna like ferment in my head, and then I'm gonna become one of those guys like, I'm pissed the guy I fucking thought would be great didn't show up. And like I feel that's what people are gonna set themselves up for. Like it's okay to speculate and then like you can be disappointed it's not your guy, but I feel like everyone wants to shit on AEW. It's just another excuse for people who don't like AEW to get their ammo. Oh goody. Like if they don't make good on a promise, we can just fucking stab them. Like fuck AEW. Like people just live to piss on something they don't like, and I will never understand that. I will never understand that. Like it's like I'm a huge wrestling fan, and I take the piss out of things, but ultimately it's out of love. I still love wrestling. I would never be so much of a kind of fan where it's like, this thing's not what I like, so I hate it. I hope it dies. So yeah, that's why I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in the speculation about who it's going to be, because it's just going to breed more hate. I fucking hate that. I hate the hate. No tolerance for the intolerant. Sean D, $2. Nia has before liked shorter guys. Yes, that's true. They were going to the angle with Enzo before he got fired. Levi Shapiro in the red tracksuit. Yes, props to Levi for once again appearing on AEW Dark in the 6-man against the Dark Order. I saw some great pictures of him getting flattened. Look how they massacred my boy. Let's see here. Mazochi. There's a lot of ways you can say that one. Z-Man. Thoughts on WCW Presents MTV Beach Brawl? I have not seen it in a long time. I don't think I saw it since it happened, like on broadcast television. If I want to date myself a bit, I would love to cover all the forays on MTV, like WWF, WCW. Maybe do like one at a time, because there's a couple specials for each of them. I vividly remember like one summer just watching the hell out of the replays of like Say What Karaoke when like the WWF guys were there. Like Road Dogg did Cowboy by Kid Rock. Oh God, I'm trying to think what song Draws did. Draws was on there, and I forget what he sang. I think D'Lo might have been there too. I don't know. It was a really weird motley crew of like mid-carders and stuff. Like Triple H showed up on TRL once, and those were good times. That's that summer. Parker Soul saying, I don't watch much NXT UK, but Kaylee Ray versus Mako Satomura from this week had some praise going around. I do say it's worth seeking out. Like, why would they bring Mako Satomura into such a poorly viewed show at NXT after just months of being away and then have her lose? Like, why even bother bringing it up? But I heard it was a good match, and so we will see. See here, Jonathan Hill, $5. Hot take: Charlotte's an average wrestler at best. Oh God, it's like I'm always like my opinion on her always goes back and forth, because I think she's fine. I don't know if she's the best female wrestler. I know she's not the best female wrestler. There are other lady wrestlers who I would put above her in terms of enjoyment or abilities and stuff. I think she's fine, but she keeps getting back into this cycle of having to like work a program with her dad or something, or have some kind of affiliation with him. And I don't think it's ever going to go away until Flair dies, honestly. And that sounds really callous, but I think once that happens, I think she'll finally be able to like maybe move on and get out of that vicious cycle. And I think that Charlotte better heel it a face. I'll say that right now. I think she's a really bad face. Like, every time she's been faced, I'm like, this is terrible. This is not not my Charlotte, I would say she's above average. Definitely. I think she's got the timing and, that connection down, but there are better ones out there is all I'm saying. Cesar Lopez, 50 Mexican dollars. Ole, thank you, Caesar. Would I do a Z team or a W3 team t-shirt as a parody of the B team shirt? I hadn't thought of that one, but I might. We'll have to see if that one has any legs. Kind of that the handwritten or hand-drawn style that I kind of love, because I didn't get the B team shirt when it came out, and then when the I Am Sami Zayn one came out, actually I have it right here. I had to change shirts for a shoot the other day, so I rocked this shirt pretty regularly. The balls they had to put this out, I thought was great. Sneeze coming, hang on. Don't you hate that when it's like coming on and you don't? Then it goes away out of fear. I have the mute button ready to go in case it happens. But yeah, I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to buy a piece of history at that time. So let's see here. Jacob Donnelly. Will I ever cover the anonymous GM storyline? I've talked about it a little bit at times. I talked about obviously the payoff to it a couple times. I mentioned how they brought it back after Survivor Series 2014, I think that was, or 2015, with after the Authority was gone forever for 6 weeks or whatever. Not even that long. I talked about it a little bit. I might go more into detail about it someday, but it's not something I'm thinking about at the moment. But thank you, Jacob. Andrew Harris, $3. I love your videos, man. Keep it up. Well, thank you. And as I've been talking, the sneeze urge went away. So I bullied it into submission, the sneeze. Matt A, 499. If I had to put up a 5-star classic with either the Renegade or Mabel, who would I choose? Oh, man. I wish I had the wit to come up with something really clever for a comeback to that one. I guess the 5-star match in my dreams between the two of them and the ring just implodes. And then I would give it 5 stars. Eisensaul, who was dumber, Nails for attacking Vince or the Great Antonio for shooting on Inoki? I don't know. I think that both of them, well, you know what? Great Antonio never wrestled again after trying to shoot on Inoki. Nails had a career after he left, after he got fired. He wrestled in Japan. He wrestled in WCW. He wrestled in the American Wrestling Federation. He got around. Like, that was not enough to blackball him from wrestling. But shooting on Inoki does for the Great Antonio. So who knows? Who do you think had the dumber career move? Let me know in the comments. Ken terminated. It wasn't meant as a rant or diss. Yes, apology accepted. It wasn't meant to be, I was just giving it back a little bit. Sorry for bringing this up every week. How's my health? It's better. It's better. You can tell I only have coughed once on this stream. Of course, as I say that, I'm going to fuck up and cough my lungs out. But no, it's great. I've only been coughing like really badly, like twice a day now. And even then it's not like long sustained. And I'm a bit stuffy right now, but like, it's just slowly going away. It's just one of those things with respiratory things. My wife got the second round of the vaccine yesterday, and today she's paying for it. She's been not feeling good today, but I think she'll get better. I think everyone I know to a T who's had the second shot has like felt really shit afterward, like one day afterward. So I'm going to take that into consideration. When I inevitably get it, I will take a day off the day after round 2. Taco Boy 2002, $5. Was I the only one who laughed when Apollo Crews brought those actors playing soldiers and that Negrian accent? I hate to read it out loud like that, but it's spelled wrong. I mean, again, I don't want to make an uninformed opinion about it. I don't know the culture, so I don't want to speak on it. I did think the accent was a bit hitting you over the head with it. I think the spear was, I would appreciate the spear if it looked like it could actually hurt you. That's all I'm going to say. Like, it ain't going to cut you, that spear, is all I'm saying. I think that the accent's going to take some getting used to, for sure. If he's been hiding it this whole time, then his entire career, because I've seen his promos when he was UA Nation. He didn't have it then either. So if he's been hiding it, then that's very impressive. But if he's just putting it on for the purpose of this angle, Eddie Guerrero was made to speak with more like Mexican accent than he normally does when he was doing the lie, cheat, and steal thing. Like, that was it was an embellishment and it was an exaggeration because he was playing a stereotype. But I mean, if you ever heard Eddie Guerrero speak in interviews or like more in WCW, like, he didn't have that accent. It was a put on, So I mean, I don't think this is like something that's going to be, oh, this is crap, I don't want to knock this, because I think that there's some meat on that bone. I think that we can do a lot with this. Let's see here. Ivan Cazares, $5. I've just gotten a friend hooked on wrestling. Any Attitude Era shows you'd recommend? Yeah, I mean, let's see here. King of the Ring 98 just for Hell in a Cell. Fully Loaded 2000, No Way Out 2001, WrestleMania 17. I would try and avoid 15 and 16 if I could, which I won't. I won't be avoiding that. And, that's a bit of a tease for you. What other Attitude Era shows that are like really worth looking at? I don't know. Post some of your picks for Attitude Era shows you recommend to people in the comment section below. And it doesn't have to be just WWF. It could be, Heatwave 98 is one I always point to for ECW. Trying to think of really good WCW shows from like the Attitude Era, that time period onward. Why can't I think of a good WCW show from that time period? Like, even Starrcade 97 was not great. Some of the 2000 era ones are great just to laugh at, but that's a whole different thing. Let's see here. Thank you, Matthew Ramirez. Oh, Mazachi. That's how I was close. Let's see here. KShare, $5. Thanks for the content. Love your classic pay-per-view reviews. Well, thank you, KShare. Let's see here. Scrolling through. Wendigo, $5. I admit Bryan isn't bad. He's good, but doesn't belong in the greatest of all time category. Ooh, that's a spicy take. I think he does. I think he does belong there. I think he's like better than Punk. Like, I think the idea that CM Punk has been able to deceive so many fans for all these years about being the best in the world, or even up there in consideration, I think is laughable when you consider so many wrestlers who came after him. Like, Punk, I think, broke the mold and allowed more smaller guys and more non-conventional, non-traditional guys to get their foot in the door in WWE and stuff. But I would say that like a lot of the people who came after him have way surpassed him. I think Bryan's one of them. I would argue Seth is a better wrestler than CM Punk, and I know that's going to give me some controversy, but I think that there's others that are better. I think Daniel is one of the greatest. I think the fact that he came back and continued to perform at a high level, I think that's a testament to that. I would say Styles is a better wrestler than CM Punk. There's a lot of people I would say who I would put above him. I mean, but and XZ Element makes a good point. In 2011, 2012, he was untouchable and he was really good. But yeah, that's my think. Jordan, $3.99. Interesting color they got for this one. Bobby Lashley winning the title is long overdue. Yes, I agree with that one. I think that he should have won it a couple of years ago when he first came back to the company. And all this, like I said in my Raw review, all the stuff he's gone through in the last 2 years feels like him winning the title on Monday was long overdue. Joey Am, $5. Just got here fashionably late. Hope you're feeling better from the sickness. Boy, the sneeze. Yes, I did that, and it felt good. Hopefully by next week I'll actually be good to go and won't have any lingering symptoms, but we'll see. Phantom of Malice, $5. Would it be too soon to do a better champion on Jon Moxley versus Drew McIntyre? Ooh, that's actually a really good idea. Drew and Moxley becoming champions in being the bulk of their reign during a pandemic. That'd be kind of cool. Do that one. I don't think it's too soon. I mean, I almost wonder if it's even worth I wonder if it's worth just lumping in Drew's 2 reigns, because one of them when Orton won it, it was so short. It's why even bother having a break there? So yeah, that's a good suggestion. Thank you. Scrolling down to more recommendations. SummerSlam 2000, Armageddon 99, that was a good show. Survivor Series 98, that's a pretty great show. Mania 14, okay, it's your opinion. Backlash 2000 is pretty good. Super Brawl 98, that was a good one actually. That was the Super Brawl after Starrcade 97, and that was a pretty good show. And the one thing I can remember above all else, though, is Booker T going back to back against Rick Martel and Perry Saturn. Let's see here. Any more? Oh Jesus, what happened? I Am Error, 199. Could the surprise AEW guy be somebody from Impact, TNA? I mean, yeah, it's possible. Or it could be somebody who has performed in TNA, but maybe wasn't last seen in TNA/Impact. Something to think about. Again, I mean, I'm keeping no expectations for this, Because like I just want to be like, I'll be surprised either way. I'm gonna try and avoid the dirt sheets and Reddit and Twitter and all that shit. So I'll try and stay surprised. Like I want it to be a good thing. Just I think AEW is taking a big risk with this. Like, oh my gosh, surprise name coming, because like Impact did that all the time. Whereas like, oh my god, Dixie Carter would tweet, oh my gosh, big historic thing happened on Impact. And like that was like every week she said that, to the point where it was just like it didn't mean anything. So I hope that's not what this is. I hope it's a legitimate thing. And even if it's not someone who lives up to everybody's expectations, their obscene expectations of John Cena or CM Punk or Brock Lesnar, if it's not one of those guys, I would hope at least it's still like good for AEW and brings them some recognition, like somebody with name value. I hope it's not Big Show trolling people. I hope they don't, because this is one of the first real things they've had where it's like, hey, there's this mystery new person coming. You better watch to find out who the hell it is. And so if they waste that, then I think that's going to be an uphill battle for them for sure. Ken is back. Oh my God, I just realized the New Day are going to make fun of Apollo's accent being at work, like how Triple H is shocked and Kofi could talk. I hope it wouldn't be New Day. I feel that would be kind of weird for the New Day to be the one attacking them. I wouldn't want to, it's not like I'd say the New Day be better than the Forgotten Sons, if they were still around. But yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. Matt A, 49. What are some of your favorite current day wrestling themes? Corbin's is good. Trying to think. Oh God, I'm trying to think like who's good now for a theme. Current day themes, man. I don't know. Honestly, none of them spring to my mind. I can't really think of anything that's like really good. That goes, oh my God, it's amazing. Like, I liked Cody's theme before it got snoopified. And Judas is good as well. Even though I think the singing along to it's kind of overdone. Jonathan Hill, better transition champion, Edge or Randy Orton? Ooh, like which one? I'm trying to think back to those reigns, honestly. Like, Edge was a transition from Cena to Cena, so I wouldn't call it a transition, honestly. And Orton, likewise, was from Drew to Drew. I'm trying to think of other transitions he made. I don't know. I can't think of any specific ones that made sense. I think a better one for transitional champion would be like Mankind or Edge or Mankind or The Miz or something like that. Thoughts about Virgil trying to be Cameron Grimes' manager. I'd love to see that actually. Make it happen. Okay, I think this is the last super chat we're going to do before I wrap this up. When to go $5. I can't say Punk either, but the yes chant, I forever hate him. Okay, so you're saying that like Daniel Bryan is like, you hate him because he did the yes chant. Yeah, that's a valid point. The yes chant is more pleasurable to listen to, I think, than the what chant, which I will never forgive Steve Austin for. He wasted 10 good years of fan chants, at least, with the what chant. So yeah, that's my take on that. Yeah, Big E probably will call out the accent for sure. I am gonna wrap this up. I believe that was the last Soups chat. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching, folks. I really appreciate you sticking around. We had 350 people watching right now. And yeah, I had a fun time. We'll be doing this again next week. I will say there's rumors out there right now of NXT moving to Tuesdays after WrestleMania. If that does happen, there will be some changes around here as far as my schedule. But I'll talk about that when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. In the meantime, though, folks, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your super chat contributions. That's been great. And hope you guys watched the Revolution predictions that I dropped this afternoon. The worst big men countdown was this Wednesday. And I will say the next classic review for next week on Wednesday is WrestleMania 11, which is considered, by me at least, to be the worst WrestleMania of all time, if not tied with 9. But you guys can be the judge of that. And just always remember, the influencer loves ya. I'm Bryan Zane, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the Smackdown review.